Hey, it's Mark. I just wanted to look at a few charts here real quick to follow up on some of the ones I've been looking at, like Tesla and others. But I noticed something today in small caps. We had a big shift here in the momentum for the Russell 2000. I mean, it's got a hold, but there's a pretty good move today out of this channel on the Russell 2000. So I'm just looking at it with IWM here. So we had this channel that I was talking about in the last video was just downtrending. It's really respecting this channel here. I mean, it hit it multiple times, and it first hit it up there on that spike down day where the breakout failed, and then it hit it again the next day. Then it hit it there. It hit it there. I mean, you get the point. It's just hitting it all constantly. It's like five or six times or something. So So yeah, it pushed up above it today, which is definitely a momentum switch here. So the momentum is up, at least in the short term here. Of course, it's got to hold, for another day or two. But as of now, it's looking like it's definitely got the possibility here to retest the highs again and break out. And you see this, I saw this in a lot of other stocks that I watch, like some of these other ones that I've been mentioning, like Givo. It broke out today again, and even the EOSC had a good day today, and it found support from that level there on a previous day, and it held today. So this one, when the uptrend's still intact, like I was saying, it's still got that uptrend. So I thought it could even come back down to like 270s, but it looks like it still likes that level there. So this one could be on the highs again soon too. So I haven't gone through my scans yet. I just wanted to put that out because I just saw that when I looked at my charts here that the Russell is possibly flipping to very bullish and is going to retest the highs. But what I've been looking at with the Russell is the regional banks. So you look at the regional bank index. If you follow the regional banks, this index, the regional bank stocks, and the Russell 2000, you see that they're pretty correlated the past year, at least since the big regional bank mini panic we had. When there are some banks, Silicon Valley Bank, and the others had trouble. So you look at the KRE. It's pretty similar chart really to the Russell. Of course, this isn't the perfect vehicle to look at it because it's a little different than the actual index because this is like ETF, but ETFs. But you can see, I mean, you get the idea. They're really close. I mean, right? So it's definitely not like it's definitely not like the S&P 500 or even the Nasdaq to an extent. So yeah, this long-term trend line is still there, that green line, and I really like my technicals on this. Really paint the picture here. So I got the levels. You got that green line. As long as that holds, it's still an uptrend, and you can see it better with the KRE. But I noticed the other day, and I've been meaning to put this out. I've been meaning to put a post out on it, but I already post a lot, so that's why I do these videos sometimes when I've got a few charts to post because I already post enough charts on my X account. But yeah, it was good volume today too on the KRE. So I haven't really been following a lot of banks individually. I'm not really inclined to be super bullish on a lot of regional banks, ones with like commercial real estate, but it's held in there, and if they do lower rates and the economy stays pretty resilient, and there's not a recession or even it could be a mild one, but these regional banks still do have a chance to recover. And I mean by recover I mean just like catch up to the other stocks. But so yeah, what we got there is these blue lines. You can see this triangle. So it's looking really bullish, and it's got an uptrend too, similar to the Russell, of course. Because the Russell 2000, there are a lot of banks. There's a lot of small banks in the Russell 2000, so that's partly why the Russell has been performing like KRE, which is KRE is usually like smaller banks. So yeah, it's a very bullish. It's an ascending. This is an ascending triangle. This blue lines, this blue triangle here. Because it touched support all the way. It's going up. So the support's coming higher. So it just keeps going higher and higher until it hits the tip. So there's still, just looking at it roughly, there's like a month or about a month or less left for it to get a tip, where the price just has to go one way or the other. It's just kind of, I'm not crazy about the analogies, but like a coiled spring, it's like it's just got to go one way or the other. It's either got to go down or up, and it's the direction off the tip of the triangle that determines the next move. And yeah, we still got a ways to go, but you never know. Sometimes they break out early, or it could break down early. But the way it's going now, it looks like it's still holding the bullish momentum here. So, and that move today was off a major level too, that goes pretty far back, probably back to back into 22, back into 2022 was where that support held pretty well twice there, back there. See, it held there and there in December of 22, and then so that was a meaningful level with the fundamentals to a lot of institutions and investors. So when it broke down there, it just failed to really recover that, but came back today off that level. So definitely watching these two indices, but I can see what goes on almost with these stocks, because most of the stocks I follow are pretty high beta stocks. They move more with the market. Those tens back down to a level two, and it's pretty tempting to get long here when it breaks downtrend momentum. Like, see there, whenever it breaks the down momentum, it goes a little good bit. So wasn't really well defined back here, but so yeah, if tan's green like Monday, it's definitely at least half a month. It could be up the next half a month, or it could hit like 43 from a price standpoint. But yeah, Givo is still going. There's a ton more stocks I can look at, but I just wanted to do a quick video here. So let's see what these alternative energy ones. This BEP, the BEP, and I believe the other one's BEPC. This one's pretty diversified. I believe they did the geothermal too. But I mean, a lot of these companies they're pretty diversified. Yeah, the CCJ and what was the other one? Yeah, they just had a deal. It was CCJ and another one. I can't remember. I follow a lot of the news stories, and there's been a lot of activity going on with these companies. Trying to pull up my profile, we can see. Yeah, one of the things I noticed too, like this, Charlie puts out really good statistical data. Sometimes it's just kind of, it's not always a signal, it's just kind of sometimes fun to look at, but that's pretty interesting. Today is 2 years after, it's almost exactly 2 years after the launch of ChatGPT from OpenAI. And in 1995 was when what some would call the birth of the internet. The birth was Yahoo going public, or at least I mean going public with their website Yahoo.com. I mean the young people don't even know what that is probably, but I gotta think about because a lot of people are young on this site. So the Yahoo.com was the first like Google. It was like a Google search back in the 90s, and before Google came, it was just Yahoo and a lot of other competitors like AltaVista, Lycos, Ask Jeeves. Yeah, there's just tons of them. And Yahoo was one of the biggest ones. It was like a portal, so it was sort of like everybody's introduction to the internet at one point. So it's kind of like ChatGPT. It's like an introduction to the tech. So the Yahoo was went went live in I believe it was like summer or fall of '95, and 2 years later, the market had a 30% return at this junction in the year, and at this point we're up 21%, well basically 22%. Charlie is showing here so far at this point during this year, so it's pretty close. And it's like the best start in recent history to was basically the best start of the whole year since '97 this year. So it's very similar. so so this is kind of interesting because you think if the tech hasn't crashed, and it may not. So it looks like it's more likely the momentum's up. Yeah, Tesla was the other one I want to look at real quick, and then I'll wrap it up. But the Tesla was did exactly what I thought it was gonna do, and I should have just bought puts like days ago when I saw the pennant. So of course by the time I noticed it was already gapped, it was down a bunch. So it's kind of too late for an entry here to me. But hopefully somebody wrote out that day yesterday because they totally faked out everybody yesterday because it broke down and then rallied back, and then today it just crashed. But I knew if it gapped down, it would be a red day. But the gap down was huge. So I mean, if the gap down was any less, I'd probably be in puts now. But it was already down like 8% when I saw it today. So hopefully somebody saw that and bought puts or shorted it. But yeah, now it's already back to the trend support. So yeah, it's not the best setup here now, but just the fact that it gapped down, it probably goes lower. So I would expect it to break below this trend support. So the momentum will flip bearish. Usually when you get a gap down, they tend to hold if it's like a big deal or reason for it. But I think with these larger stocks, it's harder to say. Sometimes they tend to sort of mean revert, so they could go up from here. But yeah, it's just I kind of missed that one. I blew that one. But I traded the other times really good. Like I would just buy puts every time there was a deliveries number that came out. So the deliveries were always negative. Like these these teal lines here were, I believe those are all delivery numbers. So I've traded it a lot. Like but it just keeps giving on the short side, off these big announcements. So because yesterday they had the big Tesla Fest or whatever. I guess he gave some updates on the projections, and the market didn't like it. So yeah, it is what it is. But it's funny how it did exactly what I thought I was gonna, because it was a bearish triangle as opposed to these other ones. And I'm gonna have to start definitely following Tesla stock closely because it's trading really well off technicals. If you trade it multi-day, I mean intraday, it's hit or miss. It's hard to gauge, but Yeah, another red day for Tesla, and yeah, I mean, you look at a lot of these tech charts. I mean, they're really close to breakout. I mean, even in Nvidia is really close to the all-time highs still, and it's got uptrend. It's got momentum because it retested that top level, which is the resistance in that this down channel, and it's breaking out. It's going over that, so it's definitely a bullish looking chart. And yeah, that's about it. So catch you next time.